806-773-3397. One more time. 806-773-3397. Now for all you lovely ladies out there, that is the telephone number of an eligible bachelor who would love to take you out for a cup of coffee sometime, or maybe even some ice cream. Now for everybody in the room, including those lovely ladies, and yes, you too, Judge, this is also the telephone number of a guy who would love to get to know you better, give you some words of encouragement, maybe meet you for a cup of coffee sometime. Now I promise, this was not just a ploy for me to get a new girlfriend or to make some new friends, but I think this is the best way in which we can see love within our society. It is my personal opinion, and the opinion of many others, that our society has been severely over-romanticizing love. Now I want to address this issue today by simply first redefining love and explaining what its true role is within our society. And then secondly, taking some time to evaluate our society and understand why this redefinition of love is so crucial to the lives of us teenagers. And then finally, just giving us all some very easy steps that we can all take to implement this redefinition of love in our own lives. I am so excited to go on this journey with you guys today, and if we're lucky, we might get to hear some pretty sweet tunes along the way. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me no more. What is love? This seems to be one of the most prominent questions of our society, and people are always trying to find a word or a phrase that will help them to find the love within their own lives. To the artist Hathaway, love is when one lover does not inflict pain onto another lover. To freshmen in high school, love is the eternal bonds between them and their boyfriend or girlfriend that will keep them together forever. Now, if you might not define love in that way, love for you could also just simply be a condition that is met between two people in which their relationship can flourish. Now, these are all kind of okay definitions on their own, and these certainly are popular, but they really don't define love in the best way. What's really cool, though, is that if you combine all three definitions together, you get a really great way to define love. What if love was simply a condition that is met where a person does not inflict pain onto other individuals, to where their relationships will flourish and they can build eternal bonds? Sometimes it's hard to define a concept as abstract as love, but abstract concepts like these become a lot easier to define when you can become that thing. Let me explain this a little bit further. We all know what happy is. Although happy is just as abstract of a term as love is, I'd venture most of our definitions are the same. And this is because we all know how to be happy. What if love was the same way? What if love was no longer a feeling to be felt, but instead became a character trait and an action that we made? My friend Paul defines love as how love is patient, love is kind, love does not envy, and love does not boast, and it does not dishonor others. Love is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, and it keeps no record of wrong. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. Love always protects. Love always trusts. Love always hopes. And love always perseveres. Why is it that our society assigns love with a romantic connotation, yet we also define love as these character traits? Now, what if the moment that we make love a character trait, what happens is, as opposed to our traditional over-romantic definition of love, love is only something to be shared between two people, severely limiting the amount of people that can feel the love that we have. But the moment that we change the way we define love into a character trait, becomes open to everybody that we interact with at the same time, thus allowing for more of those fruitful relationships and eternal bonds that we are all searching for. So now, that we've taken some time to redefine love and explain what its true role is within our society, why is this redefinition of love so important? Well, you see, someday I'll be living in a big old city, and all you're ever gonna be is me. Why you gotta be so mean? Why do you gotta be so mean? We live in a world that is plagued by the war between love and hate. What's really cool about love, though, is that it, in of itself, is the weapon to be used to defeat hate. But on that same front, hate cannot defeat love. So let's say that there's a kid at my school and he's getting bullied. The best way for me to help on that kid is to simply love on him and to be his friend. But what do we do to a kid that's feeling an immense amount of love and support from his friends and his family? There is no amount of hate that I could put on that kid that would overpower the love that he is feeling. And this is simply because of the power that love has over hate. Let me explain this idea a little bit further with a story. It's December 2016, Cali Mesa, California. And a 13-year-old girl has just committed suicide because some girls in her class were making fun of her for having braces. Braces, the most minor thing that a person can go through, became the reason for them to take their own life. This is why becoming love is so important for the lives of us teenagers, because teenagers are somehow both the most volatile yet fragile people on the planet. Both the bull and the china in the china shop. School districts all over the country are trying to find ways in which we can tackle school dropout rates, teen bullying, and teen suicide. But not one of them has ever thought about how redefining love and making their teenagers a support net for their peers. This is how we stop these kinds of issues. Because whenever we are shrouded by darkness, sometimes all it takes is the light of one match to help us find our way out. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. You got problems, well, I got them too. And you got a friend in me. You do have a friend in me. And that's because I want to become love, and I want you guys to become love too. What I find most interesting about becoming love is that it is actually incredibly easy. We've already talked about it on multiple occasions today. It doesn't simply make friends. It's as simple as me walking out of that door today, finding somebody I've never met before and saying, "Hey, your hair looks great today. My name's Elias." Going up to somebody else, saying, "Hey, I love your shoes. What's your name?" It's those simple acts of investment that are going to make this world such a better place. Because when people feel invested in, they will inherently invest in themselves. And it's this idea of investment that actually leads me into our second step, which is just slightly more complex. If you remember, the beginning of my original oratory, I gave my telephone number twice, as well as it's the title of my original oratory. And this is because when you are loved, you are accessible to those that you've made relationships with. I like to think that me being up here today, talking to you all about this idea that is so heavy on my heart, has built a certain connection between me and all of you today. So let's say you don't break at this tournament, or let's say you do. If you want to give me a call or shoot me a text, I would love to be there to celebrate with you or to mourn with you. That's because I want to become love. I want to be accessible to everybody that I can be. The other reason why I gave my phone number to you all today is because this is easily my favorite message that I've ever given. I've done original oratory for 4 years, meaning I've given 4 different speeches about 4 completely different topics. But this one by far is my favorite because I think it is the most applicable to the society in which we live, as well as it is the one that rests the most heavily on my heart. And so, let's say you have some questions about what becoming love could look like. Let's say you might want some literature on how to best become love. I can help you with that. And I want you to know that you have that option. Because think about how much better our world would be if we all made the choice to be love. Sometimes it's hard to define a concept as abstract as love. And it's because of this difficulty that I think it's been misdefined for so long. But today we redefined love and explained how it's not necessarily a feeling to be felt, but instead a choice that we can all make. And we talked about why this choice is so important, because of the lives of us high schoolers are so difficult sometimes. But when people make the choice to invest in other people, we help solve for a lot of those issues that a lot of us high schoolers are faced with. What's really cool about becoming love is that it is actually incredibly easy. And that's simply making friends and being intentional and accessible with those relationships that you have built. I think this idea of becoming love has been a part of the DNA of humans ever since our conception. I just think we've been misdefining love for so long that we forgot what love really can be. But now that we have this redefinition, let's all walk out of that door today, be love, be light, and go make a difference.